So here are 5 things that I dislike about my F80 M3. I've had the car for, I'd say, 7 months now. And the first thing definitely is how long it takes for this car to warm up. Now I have the same issue with my E92 M3, but this I feel like is a bit worse. So the nice thing about M cars is it has kind of a rev limiter that adjusts as the car warms up, but that doesn't necessarily tell whether or not the car is warm or cold. This is the most accurate gauge. One of the things that I dislike about the car, that kind of goes along with gauge temperature, is because of that, my OCD, I tend to not rev past 3 grand when warming up the car. And you know, everyone likes to race you when your car is warming up. The next thing I don't necessarily like about this car, believe it or not, is the interior. I personally like my interior only because of the colorway. When I saw this car, I said, wow, this is so unique. This golden brown, you never see it in these cars. The next thing that I'm not a big fan of are the driving modes. Now, this can all be adjusted with, say, like Beamer code. Once you tune your car, and you go into the settings, you can change a lot of these settings, but I don't like that when you turn on the car, it starts on a default setting, and when you do various M modes, there are certain functions that don't cross over. Say, for example, in Sport, if I go down to 3rd gear, it auto rev matches without me having to blip the throttle. Now, if I were to put the car in Sport Plus, and I were to downshift, I would have to blip the throttle. So 3rd gear, I have to blip the throttle. The 2 other things that I don't like about this car actually are based off of the settings as well, and it's the suspension and the steering. It really is just very, very rough, and you know, while it is rough and it isn't necessarily smooth, it does handle bumps very well. I think BMWs are very put together in a very strong fashion that when you go over bumps, you don't hear creaks or cracks. So it is very sturdy. It's just a little too rough for me. You know, if you're driving this car every day, it could definitely get cumbersome. Now, the next thing I don't like is the steering. So in comfort, it's a little bit loose. It tightens up in Sport. And then in Sport Plus, it's very heavy. One thing that I miss about the previous generation is that the steering wasn't electric. It was a mechanical system, and it just felt so attached to the drivetrain, so attached to the engine. It felt as though that you were truly steering the car. Now it feels kind of numb. See, I've been driving the car for, I'd say, like 10-15 minutes, and it's still not necessarily at operating temp for my liking. The next thing I dislike about this car, honestly, and it's probably like the biggest thing, it's the sound. So that's a quick little video on 5 things I dislike about the car. One being how long it takes to warm up. 2 being the drive settings. 3, the suspension. 4, the steering. And finally 5, probably the worst thing, and really the only thing I don't like, is the sound. I do have an active auto work mid pipe, so it does sound a little bit better, but honestly, even after that, and it was pretty pricey, it still just doesn't sound amazing. And I think a sports car, a really big part of it being a sports car is how it sounds, and if it doesn't sound good, it kind of just changes the whole driving perspective. Keep in mind, I love this car. I got it for a reason. And these are really just mild things aside from the sound. Everything else is really perfect for me. Yeah, that's the F80 M3. This is an 18, a competition. It has the executive package, and I hope you guys enjoy. I'm gonna add a little bit of a vlog with the family, just to add a little bit of content, so enjoy, you guys. Feel free to just sit back and watch, okay? Good morning, everybody. So the plan is we're going to be taking this car down to the beach today. I cannot get over this sound. The most intense sounding trunk sound. First things first, very important, coffee. You want a snack? When we stop, okay? Oh, you see the baby? Should I sell both of my BMWs and get a Cayman GT4? Or a GT3, a 911 GT3, how about that? Oh, I want to. Oh my gosh, it's the new M4. I feel like the back is really clean, right? This is the most ugliest car I've ever seen. It's a convertible Murano. Or what is that? I don't even know what it is. It's probably gonna break down though. I see a Ferrari. Ooh. I've been seeing more and more M5s. Competition. And the baby wants ice cream. Wow. Got it, man. Nice. Black on black. Oh, it's race, bro. Oh. You see the boat? Old school Viper? Sheesh. Oh. Oh, so nice. 06. Oh, is that a Bentayga? Gas it! Wow, the beach is packed.
Oh yeah?
I hardly ever see Fiskars ever. Surprised it's not on fire. We made it. Of course I got good parking. Wow! Oh my gosh! Dang! So this is the Capri Hotel. Not bad. 180 bucks a night. Honestly, you can't beat this kind of view. You ready to swim? Yeah?